Hey, everybody out there in Heroclix land. Once again, this is Talkn and Clix. I am, as always, your host, Wespool. Unfortunately, Scott was not able to make it today. He is traveling for work, so I'm flying solo. With me today is Miles Cain. Hello, Miles.
Hey, how you doing, Wes?
Doing awesome. So, as of recording today, today is Mother's Day, and I wanted to make sure I had Miles on today to make a special announcement that he is expecting
I'm expecting what?
a child.
Oh God, no, no, no. Unfortunately, I can't give you that news. I'm never going to be expecting five and done. No more.
All
Yeah.
right, so everybody knows the name Miles Cain. He is notorious for the Milesverse, for being the king of the Pacific Northwest, the founder of
Pathetic.
Pathetic Northwest,
Yeah.
the Clix Leagues West, which I think is having an event this next weekend. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. The Clix League West is actually there's 5 stores throughout Washington. There's one in Washington, one in Oregon, 2 in California, and I think one in like New Mexico or Arizona. So it's throughout the West Coast.
All right.
So each store has it. Yeah. But this is the Mythic Finds Clix League West that I'm going to be playing at this weekend. The 18th.
So if you don't know the name Miles Cain, you don't play HeroClix. He's probably the most.
I don't like to think that, but I appreciate you saying that. Yeah.
Last December, you won the fan of the year for Dial H.
Oh yeah, the super fan. Yeah, that was truly an honor, and I still don't think that I really deserve that. But yeah, I can't thank Dilation enough for that.
So everybody knows your name, or at least they should. Tonight, we're going to get to know you a little more. I don't want to say intimately, but get to know you more as a person, not just the persona that you put out there for the world.
I don't really necessarily say they're persona. I think that they're all, whether they seem like a character or not, I think they're all honestly parts of me. They're not a character; they are me. Just maybe a little bit more, but they're all part of me. So I think it's all actual 100%. I think Aqua Miles, I think Hollywood Miles, I think they're all accurate, not just caricatures, but people of themselves. They represent a piece of me.
So I've known you personally for a little over a year. We've never met in person. I've talked to you almost every day, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, and actually, you know what? Yeah, I think the first time we actually talked was probably close to 3 years ago. Honestly,
Oh
through the
wow,
broadcast event.
it's been that long.
I think it was about right when you start. I think you're because you were a newer player on the
Yeah.
broadcast. So yeah.
And almost as long as I've known you, there has been the Miles verse of one form or another. What started the Miles verse, and how did you discover it?
Um, it's a little bit personal, but so as a kid, I've been diagnosed with MPD, which is now called DID, as well as ADHD, and so I have had trouble as a kid, and as I became an adult, um, I refuse to take medication, so I use it as a form of self control. For instance, of putting myself as a character to maybe get those emotions that's hard for me to control, and so I'm able to put it in like a almost like a bottle and control it through that source is the way it is. Yeah, it's all a mental game for me. It's purely yeah, personal for when I do it, and I'm glad that people enjoy it. Yeah, it's a way of me to, I guess, like certain people have like just different emotions or whatever, and so it's a way for me to embrace certain parts of my personality that really don't show a lot, and so yeah, I'm able to just do it a positive way instead of letting an outbreak happen where it causes self harm or hurts others.
Well, honestly, Miles, I didn't think you were going to pull the curtain back quite that far. If you want me to edit that out, it's fine. I just thought you were going to give us
Go ahead, yeah,
some.
you can
Okay.
keep it. I am an open book. Like I said, if I wasn't comfortable with who I am, I wouldn't want to share that. And maybe there's someone that's listening to this. Maybe they're dealing with something similar. I think it's all within your brain. I think it's willpower. And if you have the willpower to succeed and you have the willpower to try and get things fixed, I think the only person that's going to hold you back is yourself. So yeah, no, I'm fully comfortable with who and what I am. Um, so yeah, it doesn't bother me at all. Maybe
Okay.
10 years ago it probably would have, but now no.
Well, I really appreciate you being that open and frankly heroic to put that out there for the world. I
I
always
don't feel
thought
myself.
that I always thought Aqua Miles was just a character that you developed just to have fun, kind of like I developed
It's what
Wespool
it
just to
is.
have fun.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's but I also use it as a form of I guess emotional support. I guess is the best way to do it, where you're able to do stuff and in an outsourced way. I guess it's so hard to explain. Maybe if someone's dealing with something similar, maybe they can relate to it. Yeah, it's really hard to explain
Is it? Would
what it
you
does for me.
attribute it to like people that uh, cosplay or do role playing activities like medieval times where they become that character for a period of time, just kind of get things out?
I mean that might be. I cannot speak for anybody else. I can just speak for myself. And so yeah, I've always gravitated towards role playing games and all that stuff to essentially create another world essentially in my own head to where you because when you're dealing with what I'm dealing with, it's really hard to stay in the real world and to also keep your mental health. And
Yeah.
so characters like Aqua Miles and Hollywood Miles, I'm able to leave the real world essentially and create this make believe, or you know you're just able to really release all those negative feelings, and so in a positive way. It doesn't seem like much, but when it helps immensely. And yeah, that's I attribute actually with Tide to Tide creating the Kick Miles verse and everything, which actually hasn't really been a thing until maybe like 8 9 months ago, maybe a year. I think that has actually attributed to my mental health being the best that it's ever been, is by embracing my mental health and not being scared to talk about it, not being scared about anything. I'm just this is who I am. This is what I am. You either like it or you don't.
That's amazing, Miles. I applaud you for your intestinal fortitude to stand out, stand
It's been
proud, and be who you
yeah,
are.
yeah. It's been a journey for sure, but yeah, positive journey.
Is Tide to Tide coming back?
I actually haven't heard from Aqua Miles. I'm not sure. There was talks of a secret ops person that came to hunt him down. There is some telltale signs of like potentially an agent of Captain Calder's in his area might have came to try and assassinate him. So I don't know. I have heard that maybe there could be a future video that's gonna let everyone know what's happened to Aqua Miles, and I'm honestly curious
Oh, I thought that
to see what.
Westpool got him.
Okay. Wespool can't get nothing.
So,
Someone's I'll be right back. Here, let me put open more. I gotta open my door real quick. The other thing that I really like is wrestling, and so I like to body slam. All right, we can go ahead and continue talking. I just figured I'm just gonna throw that out there. Oh yeah. So yeah,
uh,
maybe.
so Scott did ask me to ask one question for him, and that is:
Hmm.
have your alternate personalities ever gotten you in trouble?
Yeah, yeah. So unveil this thing. So yeah. So I had a very traumatic childhood. I don't really need to delve into that because of YouTube standards and practice and whatnot. But so I that's where it all started, where I shunned a lot of all the emotional trauma as a kid, and it created the persona called Cliff Jones, who he caused a lot of issues. I was moving back and forth every 6 months. I was in a horrible mental state on different medications for years. So yeah, no, it was. He's never to be seen again. But yeah, it was from like the ages of 8 to about 20. There was someone that my buddy called Cliff Jones because he could tell that I was on the edge, and so obviously another name for edge is Cliff, and so it became a thing. It's like an out of body experience too, where you're just watching yourself and whatnot. But yeah, that was not fun during my adolescence for sure.
Well, once again, I feel like that's more intimate than what Scott intended. I think he was just talking about Aqua Miles and his shenanigans he gets into with arm wrestling and his adversary with Wespool.
Well, and I do know that he did call out what's his name, Randy Quaid. And
Yeah.
he did attempt to meet him at that convention in Tennessee, and Randy Quaid has security escort him out. And the footage was destroyed because I had a buddy record it, and he had to show proof that he deleted the footage. So unfortunately, there is no footage of Aquamiles calling out Randy Quaid for stealing the shower video.
So why Aquamiles?
Um, I don't know. It just happened so organically. I can't even really. I don't know. I'm a huge Aquaman fan. But I got a custom 2-pack over here that I made of like the Migos, so of like Aquaman and Black Manta, and I've had that for years. Yeah, I don't know. I've just always gravitated towards Aquaman because especially when you see all the hate that he got, like I felt that too. Like as a kid, where you feel shunned, and how like Aquaman was never appreciated by the fans or anything. Like he's always a joke, and so I always felt as a joke, and so that really gravitated me towards that character of Aquaman, the Super Friends Aquaman specifically.
Yeah. So what about Hollywood?
I mean, that's just the way it is. The Hollywood. I've been a Hogan fan since the day I was born, legitimately. He's actually I played with that one more. The wrestling buddy. I still got my Ultimate Warrior from when I was a kid. I had 2 of them. I had Hogan and him, and when you look at everything, especially with Degeneration Clix, we talk wrestling as well as comics, and like you can look at wrestling, you can look at comics, and like there's no character that is so different when you look at the regular Hulk Hogan and the Hollywood Hulk Hogan. And so that was like the perfect, like if you're gonna try and turn heel, because there's that and you actually saw that organically be created on Degen podcast itself, because originally it was just evil Miles, and so it gravitated towards Hollywood Miles, just because like that's like, I mean, you can't get much more evil than Hollywood, because he did it all for the money. It's a heel turn. So yeah.
Is the nemesis between Aquamiles and Wespool real, or is that all for performance?
I think it's got to be for performance, because I think it's really interesting too when you look at Wespool, who's based off of Deadpool, who was created by Rob Liefeld, and Rob Liefeld is known for somebody that tries to steal ideas. He copies characters. Supreme was clearly a Superman ripoff. He got sued by Marvel with with several of his comic books. Wade Wilson, who actually, he didn't create the name of Wade Wilson, which a lot of people actually don't know, because Rob Liefeld will tell you that, but it's not. It's actually Fabian Nicienza that did it. So, Rob Liefeld, and that's another thing too. Rob Liefeld takes way more credit for Deadpool than he ever should. So, but I don't know. Maybe it could be. It'd be interesting. Like, I'd like to see them meet in person. Maybe arm wrestle.
Me too. So that brings up an interesting point. You're rattling off all this information, and it astounds me with every single episode of Degen, and all the way back to Clixnet. You are a walking encyclopedia of comic book knowledge, wrestling knowledge, just random facts and figures that you are off like a supercomputer. Do you have a pornographic memory?
A pornographic memory? Most likely, yeah. Absolutely do. Yeah, absolutely. No, so yeah, in 8th grade, my dad still has I've been trying to get him to find it. It's somewhere. I actually got an award for knowing the most about wrestling. And I have that personality quirk and whatever. I don't know what else you would call it too, the OCD or I don't know. But if I'm into something, I'm into it. Like I'm in deep dive. And so I'll read articles or read books. I mean, I used to read encyclopedias as a kid. Like we had a 26-volume encyclopedias. Like, so I'm always about learning and especially if I love it, like I'm going to go out of my way and search for it.
So are you actively just constantly researching, or are you just absorbing things and just remembering it?
A little bit of both. A lot of things I do remember, and that's right. So you can also tell too, like it's when stuff was off of memory, and when it's been rather recent, where I've been delving into it, like, especially when it comes to set reviews, like especially when we get the figure set, like I'll be able to do, I guess, what Scott Porter does too. He's able to research it, and so you can tell. I think you can probably tell where it's off of memory and when it's not off of memory. Because my off of memory, it's not always exact, but it's pretty close. And and it has hurt my work and my personal life because there's certain things I just don't care about remembering because your brain can only hold so much information, and
Right.
I don't want to lose my comic knowledge or my wrestling knowledge. Sorry, I don't remember what our shopping list was. Sorry. Maybe you should answer the phone.
My wife April is convinced that she can't learn anything new because her head is too filled with song lyrics.
Yeah, see, exactly. See, that's she has that problem. So, yeah, and subconsciously she doesn't want to remove those lyrics. So you're never gonna really, it's like a hard drive, where you're gonna try and, I guess, save over it. You don't want to lose it, so you're not gonna save.
So, I did you know going into this interview that you were going to open up this much, or did you just kind of do it on a whim?
I think a little bit. I think a little bit. I wanted to open up because I think I don't know, like you say, you think I'm Clix famous. I don't think I'm Clix famous at all. I want to be able to help like one person, and like that's like I've helped you out. I feel like I fulfilled that. And then ever since I've been taking care of my mental health, like if I can get one person that's struggling or dealing with something similar, I'll do it. And I feel like I'm in a mental capacity of being able to fix it. And so, yeah, it wasn't a subconscious decision or not. It's about something that if it came up, then I'll talk about it. So
So, where are we recording from right now? Where are you?
I am in my Clix cave on Wespool's casting couch. Yeah,
And
he shipped it all the way over here.
and you built this yourself?
Yeah. I have two sheds. I have this one's 2 stories. I guess like a story and a half, and then I have another one that's what this is like. I want to say 15 by 20, and then it's like probably another 20 feet tall, and then I have another one that's like 10 by 20. Yeah.
Right. I want to divert from clicks for just a minute. We made a joke at the top of the episode about more kids, and you said you have 5. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your family, about your kids, your wife.
So she's gonna really hate me, and it's I guess we call it the longest I guess the longest lasting one night stand. So yeah, that's this. So the whole entire story goes is that like it all started where me and my buddies made a bet where we're gonna try and sleep with different people from every fast food restaurant because that's what you do when you're 18. You're like, yeah, that's smart, let's do it.
Yeah.
Um, and so Taco Bell was our first trick, okay, because he knew a few people. And then I actually asked her friend out, and her friend said no after she talked to my wife. She's like, well, if you don't really want to, don't. She's like, oh my god, he shaved for me, whatever. And then we ended up hitting it off, and then yeah, we were just friends. And then it was a one night stand. She got pregnant. We got married, and that was 20 years ago. So
20 years.
yeah, and it started with a bet because when they saw that me and her were about to get together, he bet I. He bet me what was it, $50 and a pack of cigarettes that I couldn't get with her, and so I'm like, all right, give me that $50 and a pack of cigarettes.
Do you pay up?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was about 6 months later. But yeah. No, I made sure he did. I nagged him every day.
So, what are your kids' ages?
My oldest, she's actually turning 17 on the 15th this month. And then I have a 14-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 9-year-old, and then my youngest is 5.
Does your wife or any of your kids play Heroclix?
No, my kids do. A few times, a little bit. If we had more free time, because we live on a farm and everything, to really try and get it, it's really hard, especially because you can't do one thing with a kid and not do it with the other. Like that creates a really bad like home environment. So it's really hard to try and juggle not showing special treatment towards one because you want them all to be raised in the same environment. So, yeah.
Well, you're on your way to having a full offensive line of kids. Are you going to have more?
No, my brothers have helped me, and we're done having kids. There's me and 2 brothers, and we have 16 kids between the 3 of us. So, I think we're done. Yeah, we've completely more than 5 times our number. So I mean, we went from 3 to 16. Like that's pretty good.
Well, I have 3 kids, and the holidays are a nightmare. How do you handle 5 birthdays, 5 Christmas?
Mm, and it's really interesting too with Christmas because my 9-year-old is November 11th, and then my 15 and 5-year-old are December 14th and December 18th. And so it's really a struggle to try and make all the birthdays feel special for them. Um,
Are they pretty spread out
Honestly,
throughout the year?
no,
No.
no, we don't. No, it's we make it happen. That's about it. Yeah. They have the most amazing birthdays. I'm really fortunate to be financially, in a position where we own our house. We have my mother-in-law helps a ton with the kids as well. My sister-in-law. So like, yeah, we have a really good core that really allows my kids to thrive.
What
So
What is your day job?
I am a construction worker who do sheet metal. And that's about for 2 more years. My wife's in school, so I'm gonna retire. I'll get back into full-time writing, join the Screenwriters Guild again, and then, yep. So before I'm 40, I'm gonna be retired, and I'm looking forward to it.
Why Oregon?
I was born in California. My mom lives out here. I wanted to move out of state. Met my wife. She's only ever known where we live, and this is where all of her family is. Most of my family's out here too, and they're at the age now where they're all dying, and so we're actually scared to move away because if we move away, then
Yep,
yeah.
same.
So stuck. Same thing like when you have 5 kids. Like no matter how upset or how mad you get, like are you really ever gonna leave your wife when you have 5 kids? Because like you're miserable now. How miserable do you think you will be if you have to pay child support for 5 kids? You just think about it that way, and you're like, guess I'm not that miserable.
So I've heard 2 theories about the Oregon Post Office. One is that there is a black hole. 2 is that there's a conspiracy against Miles Cain specifically. Which one is it?
Um, I am actually gonna lean towards a conspiracy against me. I have nothing in my. I have the USPS delivers on Sunday sometimes, which is weird with Amazon. I have nothing stopping them from delivering. My mother-in-law's package was delivered from Amazon. My wife's package was delivered today from Amazon. The one with my name, it said that there was obstruction in my driveway. They couldn't deliver my package. Bullcrap.
You sent me a package a while back, and it took how many tries to get it to me?
Well, it got lost. There's still 2 packages that I haven't received back. And I actually just sent Wes Summers a bunch of rock points, and it got lost. And I went down there finally and got it, and the box was just destroyed, like the package that you sent Redmond was just destroyed. So, yeah, I don't know.
My daughter and I got my wife a bottle of very expensive perfume for Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
It arrived this week in a soaking wet box. The bottle it just shattered. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And there's no hiding it from her because you could smell the perfume for a mile.
Yeah, no, it's probably a box about like this big, and there was no packing in it, just the perfume in it.
No, it was packed very well, actually. They must have thrown it. They must have just thrown it against a brick wall or something.
Yeah, it makes sense too. Yeah, probably. I used to work at FedEx, and I, as an operations administrator, and I had to tell several people that that's not how you stack packages. It's crazy, especially when you work behind the scenes and you see like what people do to packages. The worst thing that you can think of, it's worse than that. So.
Yep. I want to get into the listener questions. For anybody watching this, if you want to submit your own community questions to my guests, join my Patreon. I have a specific tab just for listener questions, and you can submit your questions there. The listeners I have submitted, how does it feel to be the number 2 spot player in the world?
I know exactly who sent that, and that's full of crap. That's Mr. Bookwood. I mean, we can go on and on about how I have the receipts of the text messages where he tried Spot and he said Spot's just not good with plants. Prime Swamp Thing's just not good, and he's not good with plants. I proved that wrong, and I walked him through it. And in fact, in his top 4 matchup, I called him because he was having an issue with a mirror match, and so I gave him some anti-spot tech that he was unaware of that ended up coming in clutch. So you're only as good as your coach, and so I'll let you say that you're the number 1 spot player. It's no problem. Just like that's Bill Walton. He's like the Bill Walton where like he's good maybe once or twice every few years. But,
well, he buys enough clicks every week. He should be good.
I mean, yeah. Well, we have the tryhard out here, Daryl, who buys 5 cases of each set, and yeah, I mean,
Well, we'll see if Wespool can take that top spot from you after Origins.
Yeah, by all means. I wish you luck.
So for those of you who don't know, Miles invented pop dice for Heroclix. He started that at Adepticon, and it's literally, was it Sorry board game?
No, they're sort of like Sorry, and I can't really say I invented it. Apparently, I guess a few years ago, I was Bill talked about, I guess, people wanting to use it, and then it was a joke on our podcast, and I said I'm going to bring it. They're really tiny. I'm sure you saw it. They're for like 3 to 5 year olds to learn how to roll dice.
Right.
Is what they are. Got them from Amazon for $15.
Which is perfect for you.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, it gives that Roll20 feel. When you can't play in person like I can't. I mean, you have that button set up on Roll20 where you just hit it and it rolls your dice. I mean, that's the most authentic Roll20 in person you can get.
Ugh, hate it. Why are pop dice so integral to the game of Heroclix?
Mind games. I don't know. I actually, I think that as long as you pop it consistently 3 times, because me and Lucas, we were, and PJ is also there too, because I asked him if it was legal to use. And so if you pop it once, it doesn't really roll. And I think subconsciously, whether people like think it or not, when you're rolling bad, I think that it's in your rolls to where you're really not even rolling, and it's subconscious. And so with this, you have it in a controlled environment where you pop it 3 times to really get those dice rolled. So I think it's actually more of an accuracy for you to get the average die roll of 7. Because when you play in person, do you think your average die roll is 7?
No, my average die roll is 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this fixes that.
Is the popping noise more or less annoying than dice cups?
I don't think I think they're both equal, and I'll be honest. I'm honestly bringing pop dice in there because I want everything banned. If there's anything I hate more than anything is metal dice and dice cup. When people shake it as hard as they can and they slam it, and then just leave it there. Leaving it there, like if you roll the dice cup 10 times and you leave it there for 5 seconds each, that's a minute you've wasted. Like that, you don't need to wait. Like, pick up the dice. I don't like that. Yeah, the sound metal dice need gone too. Metal dice, dice cup, dice trays, dice towers. And if I have to use pop dice to make that happen, I will be that guy.
Personally, I just like the feel of rolling the dice myself. That's just me.
Yeah, but it's like I said though, I don't play in person. I play on Roll20, and so I like to push buttons. So
well, you definitely push my buttons.
Professional.
When you go to Europe, do they call you kilometers? Kilometers?
It's kilometers.
Yep.
No, I have been nicknamed Kilo as a kid, and it actually was funny. So people assumed I was a drug dealer or had a relationship with a drug dealer because I went by Kilo, not realizing that it was just a nickname. So.
Were you named after Miles Davis?
Yes, I was. He was actually a personal friend of my grandfather.
For real?
So, for real. Yeah.
I just making a joke.
Everyone makes that joke, and I'm like, yeah, actually, I was. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was him, and then my dad's had a friend because they were still trying to decide the mom. It's. I'm pretty sure him and my mom are both telling me jokes. My mom said that on the way to the hospital, she saw it was 5 miles to the hospital to name me that. And then my dad said he had a friend whose brother was nicknamed Booger and his name was Miles. So it's
Is your
and it's
wedding
actually a picture of
is your wedding
my
song
grandpa's with.
"Walk a Thousand Miles"?
Oh, I hate that song. So yeah, that when I was at basic training, I know you'll love this. See, if you're not in basic training, you don't really understand. When you get sent a letter, it has to be formatted the correct way. Okay, it's private, your last name, and then parentheses, and then you get your first and your middles. Totally fine. I don't know, was that for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my dad found out that they didn't like if you did that. So he would put my entire name, and I'd do 10 push-ups per name, per letter. Miles Ernest Carby Cain. Huge name, tons of push-ups. And then once they found out Miles, oh, that's his name, I had to listen to the Who's I Can See for Miles. I had to do a push-up for every time they said Miles. And then I would walk 1,000 miles. Yes. Ad nauseum. So,
All right,
yeah.
Miles, I'm kind of mad at you. I've known you for 3 years, and this is the first I've heard that you've were enlisted.
Yeah, with the National Guard, and it turned out that I had a pre-existing injury that my recruiter never went through, and so it ended up coming in like 2 days before I was supposed to graduate, and the National Guard said I can come and rejoin in 6 months, and I'm like, no. So
So
I do have
you
a general discharge and everything.
so you finished basic training, but you didn't actually.
Yeah,
Okay.
do AIT.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I tried rejoining. This is really interesting too. I tried rejoining after I got my college because when I got my 100 on my ASVAB again, right after I finished college and joined the Air Force. Turns out that if you have more than 2 kids, you can't join at that point. So that sucked.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
How have we
Because I
known
got
each other this long, and you have not mentioned that?
I don't know. It's really not stolen valor. Like I said, like I really didn't serve. So it's what I mean. Like it's.
You raised your right hand. You served.
I
So
suppose so, yeah. But you also have those people that are like I serve that. Rah, rah, rah. I'm not that guy. It's I
well,
am what I am.
thank you for that. Um,
Yeah.
do you prefer talking clicks or playing clicks?
I prefer playing Clix, even if it's with myself. So, which is most of the time. And I think I play with myself rather well if you look at my ELO rating. So,
Well, you also have like 4 hour long episodes of the Generation Clicks.
no. So what you see there is you see a 3 hour. That's the cut version. You don't see the uncut. All right. We start recording at 6:30 my time. So about right now, we start recording. There's times where we hit the end record button at 11 o'clock my time.
I do have to hand it to Ryan. He does an amazing job of editing.
Oh,
He's
absolutely.
made a
Yeah.
number of jokes about how he has to go back and edit out some of your more colorful wordage and stuff, and it is smooth. Like you cannot tell.
Yeah, no, he took out my Kurt Angle joke one time, and I'm still mad about that. And I told him that he needs to save those cuts, if not just for us. So,
I want an extended track of all Miles cuts, just end to
oh,
end.
I would get canceled in an instant because I go on tangents and I am not politically correct at all, at all. And I just, especially if I'm tired, drinking whatever, I go on tangents and stuff that I actually disagree with afterwards. But yeah, I'd get canceled. It's 100%. Yeah.
Power rankings of Ryan's in clicks.
I mean, are we talking all time or are you asking me to butter up your turkey? Because I know exactly who asked this question too because of his recent victory. So I'm gonna go off of in a vacuum. You're gonna have the Ryans. No one's helping them team build. No one's helping them. Hey, you probably shouldn't do this. Number one's probably gonna have to be Redman. Number two, I'm gonna put Ryan Harris. Number three is gonna probably be Kong slapping Magoo Ryan, and then number four I'll put Bookwood.
What about Reynolds?
Ryan Reynolds, he as far as I know, he said Clix players, so I'm unsure if he plays Clix.
Who is your favorite of the Redmonds?
I as a father of five, I really don't play favorites. but I'll be honest, I think probably Christine's the best. The Oliver's really it's a really a toss up between her and Oliver, for sure.
All right, before I ask this next question, I want to ask a different question. It's been all over the internet. 100 men or a gorilla? Where do you fall on that?
Funny. So 1 man versus 100 gorillas. I mean, I think that's all you need to know. I mean, questions answered.
Pete asks, 100 gorillas or one Hollywood versus 1 Hollywood Miles. Who wins? So you just answered that.
This actually is Harambe.
Do you need to call for help from the Miles verse for that victory?
No, Hollywood Miles did it himself. He did a heel. He just leg dropped everyone. Finger poke of doom.
What about Aqua Miles? Could he handle it?
Like I said, he hasn't been seen or heard from since February.
And what about from something called the book verse?
I don't know the book verse.
I don't either.
I know there's just one Bookwood. I don't know. Is there multiple Bookwoods that I don't know about?
I haven't heard of them. Maybe we'll find out.
Oh, book verse. So you have Ryan Bookwood and Ryan Bookworm. Okay.
Bookworm. Who's the best Pregano in Clix?
I mean, I gotta go with probably the best player in Washington, which is Logan. He holds the title of best player in Washington.
I agree.
So, I gotta go with Logan. He's the current holder.
Boxers or briefs? I have a feeling I know this one.
All right, go ahead. Let's see what you say.
Commando.
No, I don't go commando. I have kids. So no, it's neither. I actually like boxer briefs. So I don't like the whitey tidies, but I still like a nice tightness. I guess it would be I'd
Support.
yeah, the support exactly. So it's the best of both worlds.
Hollywood Miles at the height of his powers or Hollywood Hogan?
Well, I mean, the highs of Hollywood Miles haven't really reached the highs of Hollywood Hogan. I mean, the creative control is pretty similar, but like I said, we don't see the Hollywood Miles cuts of DJing. So realistically, that means that Hollywood Hogan has to be above that because he had creative control, and Hollywood Miles doesn't when it comes to our podcast.
Fair enough. Would you no-sell a brainbuster on a chair? I don't know what any of that means.
Yeah, so this is it's a rep from one of the AEW pay-per-views. So brainbuster is where here I'll do it. You get them here, pick them up, and you drop them straight on your head. Okay, be a finishing move. It's in a cage match. The dude takes that move on a steel chair. Okay, and any other time, oh my God, we got to get the EMTs. His neck's broke. No, that was this is a normal move. Pissed me off because I'm like, there's no reality to this. I understand wrestling is staged, but you have to, in order to make wrestling entertaining, movies, TV shows, you have to follow some guide to the reality rules of your universe. Or else it makes no sense. It's angry. So no, I mean I would probably, but yeah, no, because that wasn't even the finish of the match, and and if you want, it's in the general of DGen Discord during AEW pay-per-views, and you can just hear me hooting and hollering like a boomer, because wrestling used to be better.
Does Hollywood Miles have a finishing move?
Yeah.
What is it?
I mean, most likely probably it's going to be similar to the mandible claw, but it's really arm wrestling, because he just...
There you go.
The forearm. Yeah, he worked on my shower muscles. So we got 21-inch forearms. Shower muscles.
Why haven't you and Truth Magnum ever been seen in the same place at the same time?
Well, the Truth and Turbo are they're Malakis. They're the Outrunners. They're the youngest men in wrestling, just like I'm the youngest man in Clix. People think, oh no, it's the boy wonder Isaac. No, it's the boy wonder Hollywood Miles. Yeah, I mean, I got a little bit of scraggliness, but it's just a mustache. Yeah, I can neither confirm nor deny that they have been seen in the same room.
So when did you start playing Heroclix, and when did you take your hiatus?
I started playing right as Clobbering Time came out, Cosmic 2003-ish. And then I took a hiatus right after my first kid was born. And that also coincided with when Tops went under with Heroclix. And so that was, about 2008, 2009. And then I came back right after the pandemic, 2021, I think it was. Or 2020.
So what brought you back? Oh, let me rephrase. Why did you take the break in the first place?
Literally, when it went out of business, there was no local scene. Just done. And the 3 people that were playing didn't meet my schedule. I just had a kid, so I wasn't in the financial predicament that I am now, to where I'm actually able to do everything, because I was 20, 21. So it was, and then I've always wanted to get back into it, but like I said, there was no local, so it's really hard to do that. And then I've always just kept in touch with it. And then trying to remember exactly what video it was. Somehow I was on YouTube and watching something, and they were doing something with Roll20. And then I was able to go into Facebook and search that up, and I found the broadcast and found all that, and just delved deep into it. I knew the basics, and so I just delved back into the rules and just straight started doing online tournaments, just instantly. And I know a lot of the bigger names, they're still big names now. Dan Powell, Lucas. They didn't really understand why I was trying those fun teams, and it's I said, you gotta realize I haven't played this game in so long. Right now I want to have fun. I want to play these pieces, and I am a competitive player. But at the same time, there comes a point where it's I don't care if I'm losing. I was going 2-1 with playing Throg, double Throg. It's I felt like I did pretty good. I just barely missed top 4, because usually there's 16 to 20 people sometimes. So yeah, just having fun, and I learned a lot from playing them. And I also play Roll20 really weird. I purposely make mistakes when I'm doing Roll20 as well. So.
Well, you are known for playing in the fringe meta. Why is that?
Yeah. It's not just it's not even just in Heroclix. It's in everything. I do not like what everyone else likes. In fact, I will become a fan of something, and once it blows up, I'm no longer interested in it, because it just becomes so overblown and mainstream. And it's always been like that for everything. When it comes to wrestling, when it comes to anything like that, oh, you won with this, okay, that does not make you special. Everyone can win with the collector. Let's use a collector. I think the collector is actually a great reference point for now, because collector won Adepticon, and it's doing really well. Winning with it, cool. You're able to win. That's awesome. But I just want to be known as someone that, it's well, I never would have guessed that. And it's not even just winning a tournament. Just going 2-1, making cut, with something fun. I don't know. I guess I just don't have that killer instinct I used to have, as a parent and everything. I play Clix for fun. Believe it or not, I know there's some people think that, the people that hate Heroclix the most are Heroclix players. I'm not one of those. I do go on tangents and everything, and there was, part of the story arc with the Beetlejuice man. But that was all a work. It wasn't a shoot. So you hear it first. But yeah, that's I don't know. I, for instance, and you know this because you've been trying to get Dolphin to work. Nobody gave Dolphin a chance, and when I stuck to my guns and I said Dolphin will win, I won that win a map with Dolphin, and I feel like, with our podcast and everything, like I was actually helping people. Yeah, we need to build with that. And then when the silver season came in, you were seeing everybody win with that team up card Aquaman, a piece that most people said wasn't good, and it was the one piece I said no, he's gonna win. I won with him in modern, and to see everybody else winning him with silver, I think that goes to prove that Dolphin was not dead. And so I don't know, that just makes me feel good, whether I was a part of that or not. I like to think that I was a part of getting Dolphin really to see a lot of play and win a lot of events, and so that's a lot cooler instead of, well, of course you're playing collector, everybody else is, like it's so much harder to win with something like an Aquaman team up card than it is a collector. So I like challenge. I like hard mode.
The opening credits to DGen has you listed as like a MacGyver type personality. Do you own that? Like, is that like, yes, I can take crap and make it good, or is that just something that's kind of thrust upon you?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think some people see me as that and think that I can make anything work, and what they don't understand is that I can't make anything work. There has to be something that figure can do that nothing else can do, that really you can add to a team to make it work.
I disagree.
The Human Torch was a
You
perfect
took
example.
two of the worst characters in Heroclix and had a winning record of 3-2 last year at Worlds.
Yeah, but that's because it was mainly Black Adam. But yes, that's true. In Poland. Yeah, I do take challenges. I do. I think it's interesting. I don't know. I just think there's more to it than that. I know people like. I guess like I've always wondered like how good I would be if I actually had a local and everything. So I don't know. It's just fun. It's fun to do, like when people just talk crap about you. Like, no, there's something there. But I've had people like what Spider Knight. They go, Miles, if anyone can make it work, you can. And I'm like, no one can. Spider Knight sucks. And they go, what do you mean? Like you can make anything work? No, you have to look at exactly like my Human Torch build. Like he had the poison after placement, and so like I really went deep into that. Like there's a reason why I can make certain pieces work, is because they have that untapped potential. They're just hard to pilot, but they can work.
Up until this past year, you were a member of Clixnet, and then Adam took a break from HeroClix, and you guys broke up, and then Ryan started Degeneration Clix and asked you to join a team, and that podcast has taken off like a fire rocket. What would you attribute to the success of Degeneration Clix?
I guess that's sort of the entire inspiration was we were on Adam. I got nothing personal against Adam. I guess our personalities didn't clash as great or anything. Clixnet was his baby. It always felt like, it's never really a team thing. Not throwing shots. Unless you want me to, then pew pew.
No.
But
It's cute friendly.
So yeah. Redman wanted to talk about her monthly, and he's like, hey, you know what? That's really not a Clixnet thing, so maybe you guys, do like your own. Okay. So we decided to do that, and then Adam that was when he was getting away from Clix, and so we're just like, let's do it. Let's just continue it. And so it took months. The idea was fermented, and the seeds were planted, but it took a while. I think the real reason why it's blowing up is I don't think it has a lot to do with like what we talk about. I think it's the fact that we are genuinely friends. That that just we don't look at we're the sweatshop like that's an entire joke. Like we're genuinely friends to where even without Clix, I think we would hang out. And so we get the 3-hour episodes, but I think you've been one of the few or one of the people, and so several others. It feels like you're in a conversation with us. And that's just something that we try to genuinely do. We want it to be organic. We don't want it to feel like a talk show. We want it to feel just like a conversation.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the real reason why, is that it's more relatable. And, I like to think that, there's more to Clix than all seriousness. I think having fun is the best part about it.
The other three hosts are in close physical proximity, and you're kind of the outlander. Does that create issues?
Not at all. Not at all.
Just for the practicality of making a show.
No, the only time that would cause an issue, and like I said, I wear the pants, so I get yelled at every night on Tuesday because it's 6:30 my time, but it's 8:30 their time, so they're already putting their kids to bed. My kids are not in bed, so the logistics, but it's we make it work. It's just fine. That's why a lot of times you'll hear my audio change from the laptop to the phone because like it comes up, I'm like I gotta leave. Boom. You know that's the only difference. Now that I have my Clix cave up, I just gotta get it insulated, and it's gonna be summer soon anyway, so um, it should just be a lot easier too. So
You have been vocal about uh, issues that changes in the game, figures like Juice that you don't agree with. What has kept you in the game through those disagreements?
I am a hermit. I don't I have a few friends like local to me that I work with, whatever, but like we're not where personalities don't mesh after work, and so I have a very addictive personality as well, and so I will always stick with it because it's my only hobby, and it's the only hobby that I really want to do. I don't play video games anymore, and I'll be vocal about it. And I hope that my whenever I'm being vocal about it, it's just not negative. It's also like I'm giving on how I would fix it or like what it should be. I think there's two types of people out there. There are ones that just talk crap about it and just complain and complain, and there's others that will have be able to be uh, criticize it, but at the same time be positive about it and what they would do to fix it. I think I fit towards that latter. But yeah, um, the podcast, being friends with Pete, Redman, Dan, and Bookwood, like that's really a thing too. Is because like if I stop playing, all right, like my entire friend group is, you know what I mean? And you too, Wes. I know you wanted me to say you are my friend, but yeah, that's like realistically when you think about it, like I get that 4 to 5 hours a week, like to myself, where I get to spend time with my friends, and so that's more important to me than all the bad that happens with clicks.
I know the answer to this, but for the community, do you have a local play group that you've developed?
No store will allow clicks. I've tried it. You have the reason why is because a lot of the owners are trading card games, and so they only want their Magic or they want their Warhammer. I even asked them if there's a slot, and they just said they have no room for clicks. And I've tried 4 different stores, and so yeah, my closest local, like for the Clicks League, I drive 5 hours. So I've come to the point now where I'm like, I'm gonna play online, and I'll travel 5 hours. So yeah,
So, how often do you get with the 5 hour group?
once every other month.
And then,
Yeah.
how many events a year do you get to travel to?
Outside of Oregon,
Yeah.
um, Worlds. Usually I do Rock Cup. I can't this year because of my daughter's birthday. But Worlds, Adepticon's going to be a thing now, especially now that it's in Wisconsin, and that's where my crew is, and so it's logistically it's a lot smarter. And I got to thank Dan for giving me a couch to sleep on. I'd sleep in someone's car, I wouldn't care. Um, and then yeah, like those are like the only two big ones because like having 5 kids and being able to travel, like it's not like just over a state. Like you're talking like if I don't get my plane tickets early, then you're talking an $800 round trip ticket. Logistically, I don't feel like that. And then during the summer, we have a lot of family time. So yeah, two to three major events a year is the goal outside of here. So
Is there one that is a can't miss for you?
Worlds. And the reason why Worlds, I know Champion Clicks is there too, and I'm not talking about going to Worlds because of the events. I'm saying Worlds specifically because of the Graceland itself, where you have everyone staying there. It's after the events, being next to poolside, and just drinking with people and having fun and really getting that connection is real great. That's actually where I met Scott your co-host. Met him last year. He was trashed, but it was awesome. It was awesome. There's a few people from Arizona, like they were drunk, and I was doing my Alka Miles thing, whatever. It's just my personality is like I really like I try to make everyone feel welcome and just I just like talking and having fun with people. And I had people like, oh my god, we have to be friends. Like that was legitimately his thing. I'm like, of course, man, let's do it. Offering to go, hey, I got some drinks. Go to my room. It's really like getting to know the people outside of just Clix. I think that is very important. Like there was times where I was staying up until 3:00 in the morning. Just talking about life and Clix and whatnot. That's the reason why I say Worlds. I can't say Champion Clix because I've never been there.
Do you plan on attending Red, White, and Clix in November?
That's a really bad time of year for any travel.
I understand. Just know you are always welcome.
Oh no, absolutely, I understand. Yeah, it's logistically, it's really hard to because that's my daughter's birthday around the same time and everything, and then that's right before December where it's penny pinching because I got 2 birthdays and 5 Christmases.
Yep.
So
I have a spare bed that Barnstable is crashing on this year, and I also have a couch and a blow up mattress. I got plenty of room, so save yourself a hotel if you do come out.
The plane ticket is that's like luckily like they announced Worlds so early. I was able to get a round trip ticket for around $270.
Good.
To Memphis and it's from my local airport, so I need to drive to Portland. So yeah, that's the only realistically way there is if I can get it cheap, boom, done. But, yeah.
What would you say sets the Heroclix community apart from other gaming communities?
See, I'm thinking about in a bubble. I haven't really delved deep into other gaming communities, so I can't say it's the player interaction. But from everything that I've seen as an outsider, the trading card games are just the Clix does. We do have some thefts. We do have some really toxic bad players that are really bad for the community. But that's going to happen everywhere. But a new game like Lorcana, like they're having to change rules and everything because people are already cheating at top level. That's that's crazy to think because that gaming was a brand new game already. And then Magic, and in Yu-Gi-Oh, if you have to have in your rules that you have to take a shower the night before and wear deodorant, I think that's all you need to really know about a community. Like that's insane. That just the hygiene.
Something that Scott and I are going to roll out shortly is a segment called Heroclix, where we will talk about certain, not necessarily just hygiene, but just proper etiquette of the game. It's more of just a funny commercial kind of thing. But one of the things we are going to talk about is taking a shower wearing some deodorant before you go sit in a room with 100 sweaty fat guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the risk of being a Ryan Redmond sweatshop, how are we doing on time? Are you okay?
No, we're ending orange. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a lot more I wanted to cover with you. Are you?
Now you know why it's a sweatshop.
Yeah, I love talking to you, man. Would you consider yourself more of a better pilot, or a better builder?
Absolutely a better builder. I don't think you can be both. I think it's one or the other.
That's interesting.
If you're team building, you already know how to play it. Because if you're a pilot, then that's where you get into the mindset of it. Is that a pilot's gonna be someone that's just gonna play. They just want to play. It doesn't matter. I guess if you're a team builder, you can be a good pilot, but people that specialize in pilots can't specialize in team building. So
if you were to build a team and to hand it off to somebody of comparable skill level, say Lucas, would Lucas be able to pilot the team as well as you would?
I think yes, but the difference though, and this is why I think it's really interesting with team building, is that The team builder has an idea of how this team is going to work. Pilot is going to play it to what they think is going to be the most efficient action. And sometimes the most efficient action isn't the correct way to play that team.
That's true.
And so,
I'm always team building on units all the time, constantly. I'm sending to you. I'm sending them to Scott. I'm sending to my friends here locally, and my friend Devin. Every time I send him a team, his first question is, "What to do?" And it's not that he can't look at the sheet and go, "Okay, this piece does this," but he wants to know how I would maneuver the pieces in what sequence. I really like that he does that.
yeah, no, for sure, yeah. And like a lot of the team builds you say like and the reason why like I'm just like I'm not sold on it is you gotta remember too is that like a lot of teams you build like my team can counter those. So it's really hard for me to get out of that mindset. I'm like, okay, what would I do against my team? I'm like, oh crap, this is what happens. And so yeah, that's. But my team building, as you've seen several of my teams, it's weird the way that I team build and
I
do
loved.
stuff.
I played against Paul Cote last week, and I thought I had what was a killer team, and his team was a bunch of really good stuff that isn't being played anymore, but it was perfectly set to counter everything my team did. And I didn't expect to see any of it because none of it is current meta, but he played everything that perfectly countered my team. It was ridiculous.
I think I pretty much team build similar to him, and it's really weird because like when I'm team building, like you're looking at figures I'm like, what would I do against this piece? Because you know there's going to be that one person that plays that, and I never want to be where I'm just like caught dead. Like the new Iconics Magneto at 295 with a time breaker. Like, oh, no one's going to play that. If you're not ready for that team's going to destroy you. Like it's just it's nasty, and so yeah, it's real hard to try and be prepared for everything.
What do you
But I
say
know a lot of
to
people like they forget about pieces. I just have a weird mind where I always keep those in mind.
what do you say to the players that are adamant that if you're not playing X, Y, and Z, you're wrong?
I think that was true a few years ago. I mean, realistically, I think they were. I think that was right. I mean, that is not true now. I think the meta is wide open, um, and the one thing that's setting people apart is their ability to play on the fly, and that's where skill level really comes into play. I think right now is that it's coming to the point now where you can play what you want, and it's now skill level more so than XYZ is why you're going to win.
Up until 9 to 6 months ago, if you're not playing Mern and something with trick arrows, you shouldn't be on playing Heroclix. And now you don't see either one.
No, that's what worries me. That's what everyone's loving this new Phoenix Pock, and I'm like, no, don't fall into that trap.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing happened at Worlds last year. No one played Phoenix Sentinel. We had several being played, and most of them made top cut with Phoenix Sentinel with Mern. Like, if you're not building to play against that team, you're doing it wrong. Like, even if you don't see it at a tournament, it doesn't mean that you should still not be prepared for that.
Phoenix Pog and Major Logan.
The Phoenix Pog and that could work. It's just tough to really like why. I don't think Major Logan is as good now as he was. I think he actually lost a little bit of luster. I still think there's room for him, but I guess we'll see it based off the rollout. See how crazy that gets. But yeah, I'm not sold on him right now. I think he's still a good play though.
What is your advice for players that are like me? Like, just say you're talking to me. That I'm like you. If something's super popular, I don't want to play it, but I also want to win.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm constantly scratching my head, thinking, okay, how do I reinvent the wheel? What's out there that nobody else is seeing that I can think of? Like, where do you start?
So I think first off, this is where it also comes into play to be a decent pilot. I think in order to before you can really start building the fringe, you need to realize what's winning and why it's winning. And you need to first off take a bite of humble pie, not you in particular, but other people. And you need to not be that guy that goes, man, I saw those teams. If I was there, I would have won.
Oh no.
You can't be that guy.
No.
First off, they're winning for a reason. And when you're team building, always assume the worst. You're going to miss all your rollouts. You're going to miss all your attacks. All right, now go. That's the best thing. And then you always figure out what you lose to. And then what you're going to lose to is you're going to look at the archetypes. You're going to have a range heavy, close combat. Like, how would you deal with a barrier team? How do you deal with an alpha? Is your defense, are you too defensive? Are you too offensive? And if you are too offensive, can it take a hit? That's really the most important. Everyone always plays for that turn 1 alpha or turn 2. That's the least of your worries. You want to know how your team survives an alpha. And so the best position to always do is purposely when you're playtesting, make the wrong move. KO a figure that you think is important to your team. See how your team functions without it. Because that way you'll be able to make actions that you normally wouldn't. And you're like, oh man, this actually works because now I'm not dependent on this figure. And so, yeah, whenever I'm playtesting, like I purposely do the wrong thing. I will send my main attacker out there to die. I probably won't win the match. Most of the time I don't. But that's not the point of figuring out how my team works.
When I was a kid, I played a lot of chess. And I would purposely practice without the queen on the board. So I knew if I could win without a queen, then I was okay. And it took a lot of practice.
You learn more. That's what a lot of people don't know too. Is that when you have people that, especially when they're at a local where their local scene's not great, like you really don't get good. That's where it's called iron sharpens iron. And so when you're going against lesser players, you have to handicap yourself. And so you're going to purposely, during practice, lose that figure to where they're now at the advantage. That's going to really how you're going to get better as a player. Is you don't have to win every game. In fact, you don't want to win every game. Because when you're at a tournament, there's going to be that time where you lose everything and now you're not going to know what to do. And that's going to put us... Then that's especially... Like if you're winning, the matchups are good, but I know this happened to you at a tournament, it's happened to me. You lose that one match, and now all your matchups are like the worst case scenario teams to face. And you're just like, oh, what? You know, and that's because it was the lack of playtesting and a lack of understanding how the team actually functioned when it shouldn't.
Are you a big believer in focusing on one team and playing that repetitively? Or do you switch up your teams and go in raw?
So I try to keep the base for what I want my team to do. And then, so for instance, like with my plant team, I know there are a lot of people talk crap about me playing plants because they said, oh, it ignores the map. No, it doesn't. Plants are very... that's why there's only a few players playing plants. So the whole entire thing is, okay, I have 110 points. Okay, so how can I try and maximize that? 110 points is 45 for Ivy, 55 for Man-Thing, Trick Arrows. And then you go from there. So you have that pivot. So no matter what, your team will always be that's going to be your base. And then you can pivot. And my last few builds that I've been playing at Clix League West and in Adepticon, you can actually... It's really weird because I actually looked at it yesterday. It's really weird seeing the evolution of where it started with Ultra Humanite on the team in the first Clix League West to now all of a sudden having Chair Panther and Prime Spider Ham. It was just... It made no sense, but... Yeah, it was... Yeah, you just want to try and get your base.
When I listen to your podcast, one of the things I love is not you specifically, but your team and your unique perspective on figures. And I thought it was particularly poignant this last episode when you did the CUR review. And I listened to your podcast, and then I went directly into another podcast where their perspective of certain figures was as different as night and day. Stuff that you thought was maybe fringe meta or extremely good competitive, they said was complete trash. Where's your inspiration for reviewing sets and the kind of your mindset in talking about certain figures?
I think you can actually compare our podcast with whatever podcast you're comparing it to. I think if you look at the people that are hosting, I think if you really see the teams that they play, I think that's going to be exactly the curve or the set review that you're going to see. You're going to have a lot of top players that only play competitively, and so they're not going to actually be seeing how good a figure is. Like for instance, I don't need to say names, but there's somebody that like Mern was like the definitive piece for him, and I messaged him after Mern was shown. And I'm like, "Did you see this dumb piece?" He's like, he was man. I'm like, you might want to reread that. And then he's like, I can't believe I missed that. And so when you're at that high level of just playing like the XYZ, you're going to miss the little nuances. Compared to if you're one of those fringe players like me, Redman, Pete, Dan, or just you want to play for fun, you're going to really see those interesting interactions because you already have certain figures from previous sets that you've been keeping an eye on, and so you're going to see these like, oh my god, that makes that piece so much better. So I don't really want to be negative about them. I think it's more so them as a player and them having tunnel vision for what they play.
I personally absorb as much content as I can because I want those different perspectives. If 5 podcasts all say the exact same thing, I don't need to listen to 5 podcasts. But the fact that I listen to 5 podcasts and you all have slightly different perspectives gives me more tools in my toolbox to build teams with.
Yeah, that's how, and I think that's a really good thing. I don't listen to as many podcasts as I should, but I think that I'm at the point now. I think that listening to podcasts is really great for players to figure out what kind of player they are.
Right.
And then I think that's what's really important because that's what I did. I soaked all that up. And so when you're listening from perspectives from there, I think there's 3 or 4 podcasts when I came back, I was able to pretty much pull everything from Crampton, Lucas, from Clix off, and really delve deep into like, okay, that's what they're doing, boom, and then also counter it. And so that's the main reason why I ended up becoming a fringe player. I think is because it's just easier to, if you know what you're going against, it's easier to play against it. So yeah, that's where I go.
You are a very high level player. You are in the ELO rankings still number 1, I believe.
Number 2 now. Matty G just won his Clix League West, so he just topped me. Yeah.
But it's safe to say you are a meta player. Do you still enjoy the game, and do you still play the casual games?
So that's where it's really tough. So I don't consider myself a meta player at all. I consider myself competitive, but I've had this conversation with several people. Meta and competitive are 2 different things for me. A lot of people that think competitive is meta, I don't. I think meta is just a really niche form of like best in slot. So like boom, that's what you do. I prefer myself as a competitive player. I do like playing casually, but the one thing that I am having really hard time playing casually or like beer league clicks, Rob Peterson actually asked a question on one of our podcasts recently, is I don't really want to say skill level at all. I think that's a wrong term to use. But you have the players that really are just that beer league player. And so, they're not really thinking of the most effective way to really play. And when you're playing competitive, you're always playing the same thing with chess. You're already deciding what your next move is as they're going. They don't do that. And so that puts them at a disadvantage against me. And like the monthly game that I played out here with 11 players. I think I played way too hard and just not casual enough, even though I was having fun. I know they were. And so like that's where it's hard, is to really try and find that small medium ground to where you get out of that competitive mindset and just try and not do the optimized move. So it's really hard. Really hard. But I do enjoy, I like playing just random things. But yeah.
But you still enjoy the game.
Oh, absolutely I do. Yeah. I love the game.
I feel like some some players that have been playing for so long at such a high level, they've lost some of the flavor, some of the joy that they used to get from the game.
I think that you can look at some of those players and see what they were playing. So, like for instance, the stuff that I'm winning with is stuff that I like and I like having fun with. I'm winning with stuff that I shouldn't. Like I won with Ultra Humanite. I should not have won with that piece. It's um and then plants. Plants were dead in the water, and there's a few podcasts that just said that, and I took that as a challenge. Same thing I did with Worlds with Lady Mastermind and Simon Garth. I took that as a challenge, and so that's why it's fun to me is that I get to go and prove people wrong. Like I don't even need to win these events. Like that's fun and dandy and everything. I go to have fun and play what I want to play. You'll never see me play the top tier you know
Right.
plug and play pilot team.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not viewed as a high skill level of a player as I probably could be because I play Deadpool. I play characters, not figures. So
Well, that I
yeah,
think you're looking at it from the wrong perspective because even when I was on Clix in it early on, like I played, I played the fun stuff. I played the Aquaman. And even like out here, my first silver event, like I played just a fun Dolphin team. When Dolphin was dead, and that's when people learned, oh crap, because I was able to one turn Legacy Thanoses. It's and not winning. I think that you don't need to win to be a skilled player. You can play what you want to play. There's certain players that need to win. To feel. I don't. I don't even really know, but maybe there's something going on, whatever. But like, they need to feel that gratification of winning. I'm not one of those players.
yeah,
I do like winning.
I'm pretty sure that I might be one of the best time knowledge Spider-Man players in the world because I don't know why I locked into that figure from War of the Realms, but
So
I
you do
love
know
it.
that
I could recite it
we
forward or
had 10
back.
people make cut, made top 8 at least with him during Silver States. So you got 10 people above you because I didn't see you play him during Silver States.
No, I wasn't able to go
If you're
this
talking
year.
about when you was modern, I'd have to agree. I'd say you're probably the best one into his modern, and then you're gonna have someone go, well, actually, back so and so, I won a local 3-man tournament. But yeah,
But yeah, I love that piece. Whether people say it's good or not, I love that piece, and I'm going to play into the ground.
yeah.
All right, so I think that's most of the general questions. We went through the community questions, but here's the hot seat, buddy. All right.
Hey, why are funerals always at 9 a.m.? Because it's a good morning time. Hey, hey, what's a chicken's favorite gift to get? Bok, 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 bok.
I talked to Kevin. I got into the AI, and we developed the Clix questionnaire, a scientifically proven set of questions to really get into the heart and the soul of the player so that the community can really know who Miles Cain is. Are you brave enough to withstand these questions to let the community know who you are?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm brave.
What is your most proud HeroClix achievement so far?
Um, hmm. That's tough. I It still has to be when I won the Coming of Star event. That's still one of the biggest events. Biggest like things I won. I won several things back in like 2007. Um, really helping Lamp get started, being one of the first people that really took Lamp up there back in '04. Like that's there. I don't. Yeah, it's really tough. Like to try and pick like the greatest moment. Um, yeah, it still has to be the Washington States where I had a heart attack in the top 4.
Had a
Yeah,
heart attack.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's been. I had food around my heart.
Oof.
I was gonna win that damn thing too. I'm in 6 games because we played 5 rounds of Swiss, and then in my top 8 game, I scored just under 1,600 points, and I only made 5 or 6 attack rolls. So
Wow.
that was really cool.
Well, I'm glad you're okay now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, yeah, that was it was COVID complications and everything. So I'm doing good now.
Add a single power to the PAC. What are you adding and why?
I'm not going to add any powers. I think that everything. It'd be nice to actually get things more simplified, especially when you look at the wordings. I don't think we need to add any colors. I mean, realistically, everything's covered.
Not colors, but just so like something I gravitate towards is I'd like to see a flurry for range.
Yeah, no, there's a ton of those already with certain figures. The problem with that is that I don't think that that's worth getting printed as a color because there's really not enough figures to do that. Whereas Blades, Claws, Fangs would be perfect. And range is just so above close that I don't think you need that.
Is there anything you would change in the PAC?
Not really the PAC, but I would change is I'd like to see a lot less penetrating damage, so we have a lot less reduces pin. That's what I want because it's just yeah. You have a special power that's like impervious, but you reduces pin. Like why? Like that should just be impervious. Why don't you just not hand out penetrating damage so much?
I like that.
Was it really worth a white power?
You've been a very vocal outcrier of how the detriment of the game because of Beetlejuice. Do you still stand by that Beetlejuice is the worst thing that ever happened in the game, or have you softened a little bit?
I don't know if you can say it's the worst thing that happened because there was worse than D20 Faust, but they all got fixed. I really do. I hate the argument that he makes it simpler to teach people. I think when you're looking at a tournament and a game where we're scrounging to try and get new players in, the last thing you want to do is completely alienate people to where they can't even play their team. Like, sure, they're going to lose, but like they're not even able to play it. We've had 2 or 3 people, at least 2, that literally just said, I guess this just isn't for me. And a struggling local that's a few hours from me after having to deal with him. They couldn't even finish the game. They go, I don't even know why I'm here. And I think that is a very real thing that a lot of people don't really look at because the casual player, I guess not the casual player, but like the up and comer, like kitchen table player that wants to try and get local or anything. I think anything that really can make somebody not have fun is bad. You can say losing's not fun. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you can't, even when you're getting blown out by like a collector team, for instance, let's say there's no juice or whatever, you just get blown out by plants. You were at least able to use perplex. You're at least able to use your flurries. Your freeze. And juice doesn't allow that, especially with the interaction of being able to KO butterflies. Being able to do the Kevin damage, even the sideline, it's just that's ridiculous. I think if he was main forced, I don't think that it would be so much of a problem if you just said if it's within 6 of him, because that's going to discourage turtling teams. Because now you're like, well, you can't do freeze, you can't get to me, so it's within 6, and I have to be aggressive with that piece. That'd be something if there's just some kind of thing.
Why do you think that Wizkids has been resistant to make any erratas or changes to them?
Iconics. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not in that circle. I honestly think it's because some people just don't think it's a problem. But I think they're living in a vacuum.
Was it Displacer Beast that was put on the watch list even before he was released?
Beyonder? No, that was no. That's just the silver watch list, and that's the Beholder. But that was for a different reason because you're able to manipulate dice, which was fixed. But I think my opinion might have been different if I didn't literally see people like get genuinely upset and just say like, this game's not for me, like legitimately. And then especially because like it's and then people will, it makes it easier to play because I don't have to worry about, I could just have them out there and not worry about it. I think you're trying to grow a community. I just think it's bad to where you can't play certain things unless you have a certain piece. Unless he's main force, then you're just SOL.
What plays a bigger part in team building for you? Is it the character or the dial?
I think it's a dial, realistically. I wanted to do something that's different. I don't want it to just be point and click. That's why I have to say it has to be the dial, because I have been a huge Colossus fan. Like, I love Colossus. Prime Colossus is just too easy to play. So I have yet to play him because he's just that easy. The one time I did play him was in Silver because I was able to get rid of his Battle Fury and I gave him the Liar Rank because no one ever expected a 10 range mind control from Colossus. That was the one time I played him. That's because like, I got to do something different than no one else is doing. But now, he's just a charge piece, and I don't like simple pieces, even if I like the character. Maestro is another example. I love Maestro. He's just 2 point and click. You move him 12, you attack. That's just, I don't know. That's just not fun to me.
Are there any diamonds in the rough that you are keeping an eye on out of Smash and Destroy?
Yeah, there's a few. I talked to you about one of them. I think the Play at Home kit Red Hulk really has a place. The fact that it's at the end of your turn, you're able to destroy that on a 4 through 6, do 3 damage plus knockback. I think that really has some implications. And they go, well, yeah, I know, but you can fail it. Well, it's a dice game. Like, you have to take those chances. And when your chances are 50%, I'm all for it. Because he could literally just take off a team's entire support. He's easy to kill, okay, but guess what? He's able to kill your entire support, so it's really there. The legacies, I think I like Green Scar. I just think he's better on paper. I don't think he's going to be as easy to pilot or play. And this is coming from me, even though I love that character. I loved him when he first came out, and like I really want to play him. I don't think that he's as easy to play as people think. I think the goats are now public knowledge for being broken. So they're the new Blackheart. And then I really, really like that common Ant-Man that gives you tiny and improved movement, ignore blocking.
I knew that that was going to be one of yours because you loved the Legacy one from a few sets ago.
Yes. Yeah, no, that improved movement, ignore blocking is huge.
So let me ask you a rules interaction question. Ultra Chase Collector is Colossal, correct?
Yeah.
You give him Destroyer Armor, which gives Giant size. Is he Colossal or Giant?
Giant. So, for instance, and the reason why he is because you can look at Prime Frog Thor. He's tiny, but he has that damage power. He's now standard size. So he's now that size. That's going to overrule it. Same thing when you have figures that are giant that change to Colossus. Like, that's what they're going to grant. Unless they say, well, actually, you can choose, which is going to be interesting if they say you can, because then it's like, why would I ever say, I'll say I'm giant for my turn, and then say, no, sorry, I'm tiny, on your turn. So, but based off of everything else where the dial has them change their size, that's what they are. So him being giant, that's why I don't like him with the Destroyer Armor, because now he can get knocked back with the Pin Particles. I think that's really interesting. So,
who is the most famous person you've personally met?
Most famous person I've personally met. I guess that'd probably be Miles Davis. That'd be the only thing. But I don't remember meeting him. I just have a picture with him and my grandpa. But and several wrestlers. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I've met a lot of celebrities. I've never really been starstruck, so I never really see them different. The one time that I did was when I saw PCO, who used to wrestle in the '90s, the Quebecers, Pierre. Um, I was what 33. I became a kid when I saw him. Like my inner 8-year-old self. Like I couldn't even help it. It's yeah, it's weird. Like that was the one time where I'm like, but it's not more. It's less about being starstruck and more about like fulfilling 8-year-old Miles is like something he would have loved to do. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say him.
What is your most used character? Not the figure itself, but the character that's based on. What do you gravitate towards?
Most used character. It'd have to be a Hulk. If you look at all the Hulks that I've played throughout Clix, it has to be the Hulk. Like easily, by far.
What's a character that's been made a lot, but has never really been captured the essence of the source material?
There's actually quite a few. Actually, I have a short list of one of them. Let me see. Let me go to my HC units list that I have because that's what I do. Let me go. Yeah. It's there's a few different ones, but I think a really good character to really point out is probably gonna be Lex Luthor. Honestly,
Okay.
I'll say him. Yeah.
What have they not gotten
Yeah.
right on him?
I think Lex Luthor is he's one of those unique characters that you can't get right when you look at him from when he had the armor and when he didn't have the armor. I think that's the main reason. If you look at him with the armor, I never liked him. There might have been some when I wasn't playing, but for me it's Lex Luthor. I love the 001 common Lex Luthor, but like that's not armor Lex Luthor. He was good but not great.
What number am I thinking of?
Are you thinking of the Notorious 001?
No.
Oh. Give me a number from 1 to what? Because realistically, you're going to be...
You have to tell me what I'm thinking. I'll tell you, Scott did get out of me. It's 3 digits.
183.
No. So something I like to ask people a lot is who would be their Wespool or their Aqua Miles. Should we expect more alter egos coming from you in the future?
Oh, when they come, they come. Oh yeah, for sure. There's the Miles verse is real. Perk Miles is definitely going to be a thing. So the play on Kurt Angle. So spoilers. There will be a video coming out this summer to decide which Miles is going to be at Worlds.
Who's your favorite content creator?
My favorite content creator
for Heroclix.
Ooh, that's tough. I mean, realistically, that's tough.
You can't say yourself. That's fine.
No, I know that's no because I'm not my favorite person. I'm not my favorite Clix player. I'm not even my mom's favorite Clix player. So, I'll go with Dice Station Zebra. They were definitely one of the early ones that I was watching, and that could potentially be what got me back into Clix was Dice Station Zebra. But yeah, Jocelyn and Rob are awesome.
Marvel or DC?
This is tough. I'm going to have to go with Marvel. Just because of what they did in the Bronze to the Modern Age up until about 2006, 2011.
Favorite MCU movie so far?
So are we talking about multiverse? So any movie can be a Marvel movie, right?
God, I hate that.
No. So actually,
yeah. I mean,
just from Disney. Just look at the ones that the Marvel Disney movies.
okay, yes.
Yeah, that'll make it a lot easier. Um, it's probably gonna be a toss up between Guardians 2 and Ant-Man.
Did not expect that one.
Yeah.
Why Guardians 2?
I'm a huge Michael Rooker fan, and I'm a huge Yondu fan, even though the MCU did Yondu trash. The first movie, I'm like, they killed Yondu. What are they doing? And when I saw what Michael Rooker did with Yondu in that, there's certain things that really hit home for me, and that's a lot of father-son moments in movies. And like it all goes back to movies like a Goofy movie. Like that's still one of the movies that makes me cry because of that father-son moment with Goofy and Max. And Yondu and Peter had that same feeling. The only other one, that top 3 would probably have to be from Sing, when Johnny and his dad. So if you've seen Sing, yeah, that makes me cry every time.
What is the best Deadpool movie of the trilogy?
Honestly, I don't know. I haven't watched 3. I don't remember 1 that much, and 2 was a horrible experience in theaters.
Okay, we're no longer friends.
I'm just spitting facts.
Cats or dogs?
Cats.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't you have a bunch of dogs?
I have a bunch of cats too.
Why cats?
My cat specifically. So it's not just any cat. It's like my cat specifically. I don't know why, but yeah, they are more of like the relaxing ones. So they just want to be petted, and so they'll come and lay with you and spend time with you, and like that's a really great way of getting that dopamine in my brain. Is just that positive energy, no matter what I'm feeling. I have a pug, and she does that similar, but I don't know, for some reason it's just I have a few cats that are just they can calm me down. Most cats I hate, but the few cats that I do have, I enjoy.
Best sandwich?
You know what? We're gonna have to go with, what is it? The monkey sandwich. Yeah.
What's that?
You get a hot dog bun or bread, peanut butter, and a banana.
At least you didn't say frozen corn dog.
No, that was Wespool's.
Bowl of vanilla ice cream. What are you putting on top?
A bowl of vanilla ice cream. Reese's turtle shell. The one that hardens when it's cold.
Nice. Okay. This is one of my favorite questions. Scott hates it. Thanos snaps his fingers. Your wife, your kids have disappeared. 5 years go down the road. You've moved on with your life. And they reappear. What happens next?
Oh, that's tough. I don't know.
Do you
tough.
do you re-enter them into your life, or do you just continue on with your new life?
They'd have to be obviously part of my life, and it'd be really interesting, especially how that goes. Is that because technically, it's 7 years for you to be considered legally dead. So, which means that I wouldn't be legally divorced, which means that my second marriage wouldn't have been legal. So that comes into play, for that. So I'd have to be with my wife and my kids because I'm not paying child support for 5 kids.
How much does it annoy you when people bombard your podcast with a million stupid questions?
Doesn't bother me at all. You know what would bother me?
What's that?
Not getting any questions.
Fair enough. All right, Miles Cain. That's been the Clix questionnaire. It's been scientifically proven that the community now fully knows You as a player, you as a person, how does it feel?
I don't know. We shall see. We'll see all the hate mail that I get. I get tons of them as it is. So
Well, we're at an hour and a half. I don't know if anybody will even watch this long.
I don't think so either. I mean, yeah, that's maybe. So we'll see. We'll just skip ahead.
Well, Miles, I can tell you, I know that you are not a fan of yourself, but I count myself as a Miles Cain fan. I know that a huge, significant amount of the community loves you. Dial H obviously loves you. They gave you that award in December. I count you as a Clix mentor. You've taught me a lot about Heroclix in the last couple of years. So don't sell yourself short. You are Clix famous. You are a Clix celebrity, and you are dearly loved by the community.
Well, and I appreciate that. Yeah, no, this community has been great to me. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna be the guy to say, oh, I'm too humble to say that, but no, I love this game. I love talking with my friends about this game, and I love the fact that people actually are willing to listen to my opinions, whether they agree or disagree. So.
Well, thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you so much for opening up and showing us the real Miles behind all the jokes and sarcasm. I know that a lot of the community will be, I don't know, surprised is the right word, but they will appreciate that openness.
I think it's gonna be a really real surprise because no, I haven't really delved deep into it, and it's yeah, so, and I don't think really a lot of people are open about things like that.
Well, especially now in today's world, we need more, not necessarily vulnerability, but just true honesty. When I ask you, "Hey man, how you doing?" It is not a flippant, just, "Hey, what's up?" Don't really care about it. I want to know how you are doing. So I am genuine in that regard, and I think that you, sir, are also a very genuine person.
I try.
This show is sponsored by Clix Creator. John Hoffner is a 3D printer. If you can imagine it, he can print it. For all your printing needs, go to Clix Creator. He's printing me boxes and tokens and all kinds of great stuff for Red, White, and Clix. And he's doing it at a fraction of the price of everybody else. So make sure you check him out. You have anything else you want to put out? Any last thoughts, Miles?
Nope. Please like and subscribe. We are almost at 500 likes on Facebook for Degeneration Clix, and once we get to hopefully even more on YouTube, we're going to start. We have a lot of new things working in the pipeline. Now that I got this a little bit there, you'll be able to see new videos of me. And if you're wondering why there's a slight lisp and if I am missing my teeth, I am. I recently had my front teeth pulled, so.
Were they pulled or were they knocked out by Wespool?
They were pulled. Wespool hit it as hard as he could, and I was like, huh?
Well, Miles, it has been a genuine honor, a pleasure to talk to you in person. I desperately look forward to the first time that we can shake hands and roll dice in person. I think it was last Worlds. I was supposed to go and had to cancel last minute. And
we can pop dice together. We ain't rolling dice together.
Yeah. But last minute I couldn't go. My wife could tell how upset I was. And I said, well, it's not about the event. I was going to see Miles for the first time. And she's like, oh, will you guys just get a room already?
Well, we would have if she would have let you go, so, like that would have been answered.
Well, I created my own event and you won't come out to it.
Well, like I said, it's a bad time of year for me. 3 birthdays and 5 Christmases.
Yeah, that's June for me. It's, oh man, so many birthdays and crap. Well, thank you so much, Miles, for being here. I really, truly appreciate it. I'm honored to have you. Scott, unfortunately, couldn't be here, but I'm sure that he would echo my sentiment of how much we admire you as a player and as a person. So thank you so much, Miles. For everybody out there, keep on clixing. Have a good night.